$907.
How much are we paying for attendant reimbursements for?
Half, 50% of $7.25. $7.25, whatever the minimum wage is.
Oh, like, okay, so half that, but like, do you know how much annually that we end up?
Oh, I didn't pull up the budget.
I think if you start cutting some of the village stuff, the towns, they're gonna opt out of the stipend program.
That's why I'm really hesitant on that one, I don't know.
Well, if you look at the bills under town of, it shows you how much.
Well, yeah. Oh,
And
I'm.
the city waste.
Well, if we lose the city of Ladysmith, that is a huge chunk of our population, so there's no way to.
3,700.
Yeah, 3,700, that's probably responsible unit.
And then town of, and then you see the one there, and it isn't that much.
Alright, so in 2024, it was $12,020.01. So that, they haven't gotten an increase, well, whenever the minimum wage went up. I mean, that, and it's 50% of that. So, I'm only, I think, my time there is allocated, I think, 10%. Site attendance and, getting rid of our recycling is the 3 largest expenses there. Otherwise, I don't really buy office supplies or anything. I don't do much of anything. But yeah, material processing is, yeah. I mean, we're in a contract with Waste Management, there's not much I can do there. So if you think of anything next week, any ideas, let me know. Okay, so, the train service agreement, this is for our heating and cooling system in the courthouse. It's $5,915. You have this wonderful, very long agreement in your packet. One thing I wanted to ask, if you wanted to do this anticipation discount program, you get 3% off. It's a discount of $177.45, but this would be for October 1, 2025 to 2026, and I didn't know if it was worth throwing it into, future year. Rather than that, they are the brain of our heating and cooling system, so we kind of have to do this. So it's an agreement, so I need approval. Whether you want to do this discount or not.
So that signs us for a 2-year.
Yes, which we have to be with them.
I mean, who else is gonna do this?
Exactly.
I guess if you get some discounts better than no discount. What's everybody else think? Two-year term on a discount or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Miller to do the 2-year with the discount. Is there a second? Second. Second by Tom, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
It's a savings of $1,705, so it'd be, but, yeah, so that's the discount. They're not telling you what the rate is, they're not locking you into the rate, so I'm sure that always goes up. But at least we get that much off.
Yeah.
What do you mean $177?
$177.45 off. Split between 2 years, cause it's a couple months in 25 and some in 26, but.
Bills and
I report on Trails End maintenance wise. James will be, making some purchases to get that, swinging bridge fixed. It's passable right now, but, he needs to do a Menards run to get some lumber and things. Other than that, we have one more month yet of usage and that wraps it up. So it's finally weekend only right now, so we can actually start getting some work done, cause we've had so many users. So I really don't have much to say on that. And fairgrounds report, the, what you have in your packet is an old bill. We questioned, Jess, called B&B and questioned why we were quoted 6,000 and the bill was over 8,000. So we did get a revised one, so I'm sorry, I have it up on screen here. And it is a tad over 6,000 because if you remember, we had to get 3 electrical permits. So that would have been for watering hole, multi-purpose, and,
Stage.
the stage, yes. So they threw it on this bill, so we are a tad bit over that, 6,000. It all comes out of the fair budget, so I just need another approval so I can get this paid. 'Cause it is-
The actual one is 6,000, not the 8,000 one, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, they sent, the owner of the company was in Germany when this bill went out, so yeah. So now the new total is $6,603.67, which is a tad bit over the 6,000 that was approved, and that's why I'm bringing it back, so at least it's not this 8,000.
Motion by Bill, second by Mr. Wydwick, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries for the B&B Electric.
So, approval of revised campground map. So if you wanna look up at the screen, and I'll show you where the sites are that we're gonna move. So back here, this is the current fairgrounds map. Now keep in mind, this has nothing to do with the fair. The fair is exempt from the campground law because of 4-H, so this is only for non-fair. So we have all this non-electric usage back here. And then sites 20 and 19, this one blocks the memorial pictures where all the livestock and the buyers gets taken. So we eliminated that one. This one here, backing up a camper at that 90-degree angle is very difficult, so we got rid of that one. These have never been used, not sure why they were ever there, other than long time ago when they had the Bluegrass Festival. They let a few people park, or their campers park here, but now with the length of RVs and things, that's just not gonna happen. So we eliminated all the non-electric here, 2 here, all of those, and we are going to keep the 4 back here. We're gonna renumber all of them, so it kinda makes sense, so I'll go in numerical order. So there's your 4. Here's the East Electric sites, no changes there. And then we have 2 panels here. There's a kind of a gravel pad if you're out there. We're having 5 spots here. And then when they did that electrical upgrade many years ago, there's these 2 panels here, and inside those panels, there's like 20-50 amp breakers. So we wanna get some campsites over there to utilize, cause you have all that juice there, why not use it? These here, no changes to those. And then way down here, we have another nice panel there that we can put 6. So once again, this is not for fair, this is outside of fair, dog show, pony clubs. We may have an RV tour thing coming next year if we can fit them in. That'll be sweet. So it'll be events like that, fairgrounds events that are non-fair. So in order to make this change, I have to do what's called a temporary plan approval with Maggie upstairs. We did get our annual camping inspection yesterday, no violations. I ran all of this by her and she was okay with it. So I just need, you're okay with it for proceeding.
Is it just a temporary map? now, or do you need?
This
a
would be
motion?
permanent, well,
Or do you need the motion to say the new updated campsite?
yes, yeah, that will work.
Motion to approve, Mr. Miller approve, or
Second.
first by Mr. Miller, second by Tom, to approve the updated campsites. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Just one more thing under buildings and grounds I wanted to mention. I became aware, through Facebook that our AWAS system is down, at the airport. I now know the state contact. We have a repair person coming out. They tried to remote in over the weekend to fix it remotely, and he couldn't because we have a fried board. So, once we get this fixed, we are under a state contract, so I've learned a lot about the airport in the last few days. So I now know who to call when we have AWAS issues. So this is the weather thing out at the airport, so pilots know what the wind speed is and all that. And if you watch WEAU and there's a blank spot by Rusk County Airport, doesn't know our temperature, that is all because of this. Our phone systems, everything plugs into this. So we will get that fixed this week and be up and running, and then I will contact the people on Facebook and tell them it is fixed. So just want to give you a heads up. I'm well aware of the problem now and know how to fix it, or know who to call to fix it.
Sheriff's Office, approval of purchase of sheriff's office equipment and vehicles through reimbursement grant fund. Who's running with that?
I guess I can. So the sheriff's office received a grant. And they would like to purchase some equipment and a vehicle that we cannot go into detail in an open session. There would be no cost to the county, but it is a reimbursable grant, so we need to spend the money first and then the grant will reimburse us. I can't describe any of the equipment or the vehicle in open session. Yeah. 36 or something, something in that.
I didn't know which one that was at first again.
Does it cover both the office equipment and vehicle?
It's equipment for the vehicle or related to the operation of the vehicle.
Motion to approve reimbursement grant fund. So moved.
We're approving something that we don't know nothing about.
You could approve it for the grant amount only. So, cause there's no cost to the county.
So should we approve it based on the
Do
grant?
they really need it?
It's a grant, so
I know that, but is it something they actually need, or is it something they got grant money for and want? Is it a need or a want? Everybody wants everything, but do they actually need it?
I would say yes, because of the problems this county has with certain crimes.
Did I get a motion on the floor, Mr. Ryder, to approve? Your second.
How much was the grant?
30,000-ish.
Yeah. It's between 30 and 36, I think. John, we signed that a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you probably remember what it was for.
Oh. I'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
What do I put for,
Approved for grant amount only, I would say.
okay,
You guys are okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insurance, county cars, and I think it's Services, review of insurance claims and county car usage and approve the sale of a fleet vehicle.
Okay, so you guys have the reports in front of you, I don't really have anything to point out there. We're still trying to determine which vehicles are, if we should keep the, Equinox that's coming out of zoning, or if we should, sell it and sell something else, but for sure we want to sell the Mocha Malibu.
Aw. Kidding.
It's like, nobody else is heartbroken over that.
Really?
Is that one of the oldest ones or?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
it's a
that the one
2011.
Is that the one that was pulled up in the airport?
It's at the airport now. No, the one that was pulled from the airport, that was the bronze Malibu, not to be confused with Mocha. That one was sold like a year, well, it was approved for sale about a year ago. So,
All I know is you wanted to rotate one out
Feels like one more.
from the airport, that was the oldest one that was sold.
yeah, so we'd like to sell the Mocha Malibu, and then could you just kind of leave it up to me and Charmaine to figure out which other vehicle to sell?
You wanna sell two?
Well, because we're bringing two in from
Oh,
the
okay.
sheriff's department. So, and, we talked with Nick, Charmaine, Charmaine and I talked last week, and I talked with Nick, and we think it makes more sense to have the land conservation take the Explorer rather than the Durango, because that Durango has a remote start on it. That would work really well for the social workers that have to, leave in the winter months early in the morning, as soon as they get here to go to things, so they can start the car, let it warm up.
Oh, technology is so many people.
Well, but the thing is, the keys are kept up on the second floor, and the vehicles are parked up in the south lot, so.
Yeah, I used to walk up to it.
Back in the day though, you used to walk out and start the car.
Right, but you have to go get the keys and,
Shovel it off, all of that, and a lot of times when they have to go quickly.
I know, you just make it really good. Okay, so we need a motion to
approve the sale of the Mocha Malibu and,
one other vehicle.
yeah, another vehicle to be determined by Jamie and Charmaine.
Obviously, the oldest decrepit one we got.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out, because we have.
Several to choose from.
Yeah.
So is there a motion to do, sell two vehicles and Charmaine and Jamie pick the second oldest decrepit one we got? Moved by Mr. Miller, is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Oh, you're good, you're good, it's already approved.
Well, you're already late, we already took care of you.
Well, I'm way down here, you guys done already?
Yeah, we're.
You way down.
Awesome.
I got time to wait for you to eat your donuts and drink coffee.
Alright, well, I don't want my coffee to get cold, so I'm gonna go back.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Folks coming down here, whoever for IT.
I'm sure he had the same thing,
I could have had that.
moving so fast. Year out, property,
Yeah, beer,
a year,
tea whiskey.
so, cause you're the last pretty much on the agenda. So, you want me to put you on speakerphone? You have sound system and LEC and IT department updates report. Okay, hang on. Speaker, here we go. Take it away, Bugs.
Alright, how we doing, guys?
Good.
Alright, so I think on the agenda, we've got the sound system we were gonna talk about. So we contacted, a couple different, audio places. We've got Jason from Audio Architects gonna stop back in. Thinks he can, adjust the current microphone that we have to
department update.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the update is we're just trying to, add a couple things up as far as that goes. I know the question come up about ARPA. All of those projects are completed with the exception of, the security assessment. And that one will still be done yet this year, cause it is ARPA money, that's 18,000 set aside for that.
Meaning we'll have it done by the end of December or sometime shortly here, or?
They wanna know if it'll be done by shortly or by the end of the year.
It'll be done by the end of the year, hopefully it'll be done, I'd say within the next 2 months.
And you're pretty positive of that? We ain't got a lot of time here to keep playing with this before we either use it or lose it.
Yeah, and is the full dollar amount gonna be
Yeah, 'cause
spent?
it's, ARPA money has to be done this
Right.
year, so.
Right, but the full dollar amount has to be spent though, so if for some reason it doesn't get all spent in December and you kick it back and we only got a week left on it, we lose that money. So I would highly encourage to try and get on that one as soon as possible, so if you don't spend it all, then we can go somewhere else with it, correct, Jamie?
Yeah, I need to know that now though, if we're not gonna spend all of it.
It's just, we're against the clock here, Jim, so I mean, we ain't got a lot of time to be playing.
Yeah, understand.
The other thing on the, sound system, we had the board meeting in August, and it was still hard to hear with the modifications they did to it. So, what I mean by that is I couldn't hear anybody on the back chairs or to the sides of me, and they could hardly hear me. So it didn't change it much.
Alright. Is there anything you guys are looking at as far as a solution that you would like? I mean, do you like the idea of a microphone per user? Yeah, I guess kinda, what's your thoughts?
Has he checked with open meetings on that so that it pops up this?
Can you say that to him out loud?
Have you checked with open meetings on what they say to use for, you know, like, when somebody requests to speak, we push a button and then it opens the mic up. Once that button's pushed off, then it closes the mic back down. Have you checked with them?
Yep, we've been talking to one of their technicians, I forget the exact company name he recommended. But that was also one of the requests that we had put out there.
And you're saying microphones are gonna cost 43,000?
What's that?
Our microphone's gonna cost 43,000.
No, they shouldn't cost 43,000, that would be a whole,
New system?
overhaul. And that 43,000 comes from a project where they had just bid out the same wireless system for Menominee, the city of Menominee, for their council chambers. We thought of doing, different wireless microphones and whatnot. It's gonna be something that Jason will take a look at when he shows up in person. And we can look at doing something like that, and then we can say, okay, the cost would be, and then X. You know, if it's something where we have to change out the current microphone that we've got, you know, the one in the tile, that's an option too. I mean, it's the wiring and everything's already there then.
I guess go with that for now, Jim, and I guess keep us updated or keep me updated to see what we find out. think anybody has any real ideas at the moment, because we're not tech savvy or we don't know enough about it.
When the system gets shut off and turned back on, do all of the settings revert back to default?
Right now, they don't, we can make that the option if there's a, you know, if we find like a sweet spot or something like that. And you just want it every time, they can do that.
Well, cause I know the system does get shut off and I'm looking at the audio controls and the video audio left front display is all the way down. So maybe some people have been playing with that and just don't put it back, so that's why I was wondering if it would go back to default.
Yes, people love to play. Yeah, I mean, we can lock it down too, but I guess I prefer not to put a password or something like that on there, especially just for normal meetings and whatnot.
Well, right, but, you know, when he mentioned the August meeting, maybe that was the problem, that the audio had gotten played around with. So as long as you know what the default is, so if there's an issue, we can go back to that.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Approving the bills.
I got some questions.
Yeah, I do too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie. Like, all the utilities for our joint management, we pick up. So, Fritz Buildings Rents like $753 a month.
It's even more than that.
Okay, but that's the one that's on here. Look at that. Gates is 1,201. Where does that come from?
Some of it is paid for by rent money, and then the rest comes from mining if the rent money isn't sufficient to cover the expenses.
Does that committee or that, do they not have their own, like, setup account? To like, when you put it in, it's all there, and then it gets dispersed out according to the utilities, so that way, you know, you see.
So
what
the
that-
city's not getting any of the rent money. It's all coming here.
Right, does it come
Oh,
back
as
into
far as
our
meter.
general fund, or how does it come back in? I mean, does it?
No, it goes into each of the individual budgets.
And everyone that don't have enough money into them to actually support them?
Some of them do, some of them don't. So at year end, we transfer whatever excess or deficit between the building budget and then the mining fund. So they did actually come out overall in the black for 2023. But there's some buildings that are not, and some that are.
Some carry numbers, is that what you mean, or they just, how do you say that?
Some are making a profit and some aren't. But I mean.
But the idea is to be having rented something, you need to make something off that. I mean, we all know that. This is a dead horse we can beat all day, but I just get frustrated every time I look at these bills and everything's on here for the joint management. That's all I really had to go on.
Well, my question is, why is Westlake Enterprises billing back from November of 2023? Somebody's not getting stuff in or doing something. I mean, why are we almost a year behind in paying for their services?
That was addressed at joint management, last month, but they switched vendors and we didn't get those invoices. Did you know that the vendor had been switched?
So is there a motion to approve, motion by Bill to approve the bills, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Alright.
Opposed, same sign.
we were done in 20 minutes one night.
Really?
I can't
Wow.
be that way.